Huh. Tilda helped us, but why? I knew they'd do that. Why is Tilda helping us?
Beta.
We're not in the base. Val. Silence withheld his technology, and that's why we couldn't.
Where am I?
Ah, you're awake. You took quite a hit when Gerard attacked you. I imagine you must still be in a great deal of pain. I can assure you that we are safe. The others can't detect us here.
Where are we?
Zeniths. It must be Tilda.
I wasn't sure if Beta would have told you about me.
Where is she?
Alive. And while she isn't where she wants to be, not in urgent danger.
No.
We must discuss how to get her back, of course, after you've shaken off the cobwebs. When you're ready, take the stairs down the hall and come see me. In the meantime, I'll make breakfast.
Breakfast. Okay.
She's like, why? You are Elizabeth Sobek, you remind me of her more than Beta, so. Where the hell am I? And. Tilda's mansion, unknown, off the coast. Yeah. This building. All that remains. Let's not talk about the fighting right now, because we both know that we suck when it comes to that. That we could have done better. We did okay against that thing, and I think my level helped. Certainly, going in level 30 on hard difficulty would have been very difficult indeed. But let's go ahead and pre-equip Toughened. Heartbreaker. That might be better for what's to come, maybe. Elemental machine. Yeah, so far they're not using their elements, so let's make them.
Why did Tilda bring me here?
Yeah, I think she had a relationship with Sobek, and for that reason, Aloy reminds her of Sobek, so.
What was all this for? Some kind of survival bunker?
Almost like showers or a private bunker. This was her house, I would imagine. Like her personal.
What is this?
The
Just
art.
a few favorites from my collection. Rescued and stored here just before I went off-world. Take a look, if you like. I'm curious to hear your impressions.
My friend is dead.
Yeah.
Beta and Gaia are gone, and you want me to look at old paintings?
Don't be so quick to dismiss the comfort we can find in art, or the insight we might gain.
All right. Let's hold it for now, and just see. I can't believe that they killed Val. I mean, I knew that when he shot down that machine that was going to do not much to the Zeniths. They've survived worse than that. And they do like to toy, but because Silence hid the technology to override their shields, I think he sealed his fate with Aloy. I don't think she'll let him live. We'll need him. No doubt we'll need him. But once he's finished helping us, his life is forfeit, in my mind. Of everyone to die, I didn't think it would be Val. I saw it coming there, and I just didn't think he'd die. I thought they'd, like, but they don't care, do they? They don't care about human life on Earth. They see us as insignificant. I just didn't think it would be Val. He had everything going for him. I just didn't think they. Oh, I didn't think it would be Val. Why did they do that? All right, let's end it there and start the next part in a minute. All right. Well.
My favorite pairing on the left is Woman Reading a Letter by Vermeer, a true master. And on the right is a forgery, Woman Reading Music, which fooled experts into believing it was a priceless original.
But it's
Early
not.
in my career, I became fascinated with such deceptions. Eventually, I developed scanning software that could detect fakes with unparalleled accuracy.
Is that how you made enough money to buy your way onto the Odyssey?
Oh,
Now,
no.
now.
I made my real fortune later.
Why do you keep the forgery?
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed studying the two side by side. Both painters capture light, color, and perspective. But what makes one a masterpiece and the other simply an imitation?
I'm sure people are like throwing arrows and corrupting these, but
The forgery looks sharper.
Good eye. The details are crisp. The contrast bold. It tells us more, and yet we feel less. Selene and Endymion. She's the goddess of the moon, whereas he's a simple shepherd. Beside her is the god of love, Cupid.
So she's sneaking up on him?
More like visiting him
Yeah.
in secret. The torch that Cupid bears represents Selene's undying infatuation with him. Though the two must remain apart, her love will forever burn.
yeah. It's a symmetry for her and
This is
Sobek, I'm
Rembrandt
guessing.
painting Jeremiah, a man in mourning.
Mourning what?
His home. The ancient city of Jerusalem.
That's
He foresaw its impending doom, but could do nothing to prevent it.
very
So
indicative
instead,
of
he saved its treasures from destruction, just as I saved these works.
yeah.
You could say we're kindred spirits.
Yeah, you think about the Odyssey and all of that.
About Jeremiah. If he knew his home would be destroyed, why didn't he save the people?
Yeah.
Why save those relics?
He tried, but no one would listen to his warning, so he saved what he could.
But how did he know?
Yeah.
He was a prophet. He saw an army invade and destroy the city in a vision.
So it's more like he calculated which side would win a battle.
Yeah.
What matters is that he was right in the end. If not for him, all those wonders would have been lost forever. At least this way, some part of his world survived. You know what I like the most about this piece? Even though he's the sole survivor, his home in ruins, left with only the remnants of his world. The light keeps the shadows at bay.
There's still hope.
Yeah.
Precisely. Take as long as you like.
And why can't Selene and Endymion be together?
Yeah.
Celine took a vow of chastity, promising to never take a lover. So when she fell in love with Endymion, she could only visit him at night while he slept.
But then wouldn't she be breaking that vow?
Think of it as a forbidden love. Though circumstance keeps them apart, still they find a way to come together, however briefly.
Yeah.
Aren't Celine and Endymion cold?
Perhaps we should move on to another piece.
But then Sobek was cold.
What's in the letter?
Who can say? What does the painting tell you?
She's concerned. Whatever's written in the letter troubles her. A burden she can't put down.
Fascinating.
Why go through so much effort to make a fake masterpiece?
The
Honey?
forger initially painted under his own name, but found little success.
Yeah.
His work was considered unremarkable. But when he took on the guise of Vermeer, suddenly it was celebrated as extraordinary.
But it was a lie. And he knew it.
Sometimes we struggle to glean what is real and imagined, even within ourselves. The irony of these two is that Vermeer died in obscurity. He had no idea his work would become some of the most precious, most copied, most preserved pieces in all history.
When I go into my focus, I can hear machines. I think they're above me. Night Watch. I've seen this one.
Rembrandt's The Night Watch, by far the most famous painting my
Yes.
homeland ever produced. It was commissioned to honor a militia
I've
made
seen
up
this.
of influential
Yeah.
citizens.
I went to Amsterdam and
I
I
guess
saw
you
this.
must have been an influential citizen.
In my day,
This was before
but
Zero
not
Dawn.
as influential as you've been in this new world.
The militia. They look disorganized.
Where others painted such scenes in a stiff and stationary manner, Rembrandt chose to show them in action, preparing to march. He wanted them to feel alive. You can almost hear the commotion.
Yeah.
Who's the girl in the painting?
She's a strange one, isn't she? Bathed in light, though no one is paying attention to her.
Looks like
Many
an
believe
angel.
she's a symbol of the militia. A physical manifestation of their spirit, if you will.
But she's not real?
What's real in a painting? She's meant to represent the militia's virtue and victory. But I like to think they underestimate her. She looks as if she's seen something. What does she know? What secrets does she keep? There's so much detail to take in, isn't there? A portrait of the painter, Rembrandt's son Titus, depicted in the habit of a monk.
I don't get it. Why would someone like you, with infinite resources, care about this painting of a boy in a hood?
It's not the image itself, but the feeling it conveys. The face is bright and defined, but his eyes are downcast, heavy with misfortune. And the background seems to swallow all light. The painting is infused with a sense of loss.
I guess I understand how the painter feels.
Works of art such as these can often cause us to look inwards at our own lives. I'm sorry about your friend.
Yeah,
Having
but you
been able
did
to
nothing
intervene, I
to
would
stop
have.
it.
But the risk of losing you as well was too great.
Everything went by in a blur. I couldn't get to him.
No.
You know, long before holograms and focus recordings, people relied on art to memorialize their loved ones. Because of works like this painting, their lives are immortalized. Rembrandt had 4 children by his wife. All but Titus died shortly after she gave birth to them. She passed not long after that. Titus became the only family Rembrandt had.
Which is why he painted him this way.
Indeed. Then tragedy struck again. Disease claimed Titus at 26. It's almost as if Rembrandt painted the future, closing in on him.
Yes.
Rembrandt actually painted several portraits of Titus, but this one has always been my favorite. It's honest.
What do you mean?
In others, Titus was portrayed in brighter, livelier states, but here, Rembrandt
He's in
allows
mourning.
himself to express his true feelings. Sorrow,
Yeah.
fear, hope, love. Laid bare on canvas for all time. I see this one resonates deeply with you.
I can hear specters moving around.
The Gust by Willem van de Velde, the most famous of his many maritime paintings.
A ship crossing into the unknown. I guess you're familiar with that.
Indeed, which is why I appreciate this composition in particular. Though waves and wind threaten to destroy the ship, it perseveres, clinging to the light even as darkness closes in all around it.
Where is the ship going?
To a faraway land, most likely. My ancestors used
Looks
ships
like
like
it's
these to explore the world,
going into the
sometimes
light.
at great cost.
What were they looking for?
Anything of value. They were traders willing to face unknown dangers to make their fortunes. But no matter how far they went, they always turned their sails home.
So this Van de Velde only painted ships?
It was his specialty. Following in the footsteps of his father, Willem the Elder. The two had quite a journey of their own, taking them all the way to the court of a foreign kingdom.
Did they ever come home?
No, but eventually their lives work did. Take your time.
Just going for the rare dialogue at this point.
Stunning, isn't it? Paintings were the only masterpieces of my people's golden age. This is Van Vianen's lidded ewer, molded from a single sheet of silver.
What was it for?
How like Elizabeth you are.
That's what she's
Function
after.
over form. Its practical purpose was less important than its meaning. Van Vianen created it in honor of his late brother, who himself was a famous silversmith.
A memorial.
Yes. Such
Motion
beauty
blur
from
on
sorrow.
this thing.
If this ewer was a memorial, how did you end up with it?
As the Pharaoh swarm closed in, my homeland's greatest museum gave it to me, along with many other works, in the hope that I could preserve them. A masterpiece like this was too important to lose to history. I even considered bringing it with me off-world to ensure its safety.
Why didn't
But
you?
I took a calculated risk. This vault seemed more secure than the unknowns of space.
yeah,
Besides, I thought someday I might return. A long life, after all, has its advantages.
I suppose
Now,
so.
lo and behold, here I am.
But I suppose the other thing that I should say about this is, like, if someone found it in this world, they wouldn't really care. Probably if it was Oseram, it would be melted down. If it was, or it could be traded. If it was Kaja, they might use it as a cup. Or silly as decoration, but no one would really know its value.
Exquisite, isn't it?
A lot of weight on his shoulders. I have a feeling. We should move on.
I guess.
She's pulling out her own hair. Out of madness, out of grief.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch her suffer. I should move on.
Should move on, okay. That's the vault door. Let's see what's in here. sealed in. I think there's spectres around here. Even more works of art just pressurized and kept contained. But with all this money and all this power, I didn't think to keep anyone safe, only things. I think we're gonna get the initial cutscene we saw in the first ever trailer. Be careful, we're not the only ones looking for the secret. Yup, I thought this was Vast Silver. That's not Vast Silver.
There you are. Feeling better?
How did you find us? At the cauldron? And what did you do to everyone right before I passed out?
All business, I see.
Yeah.
Well, suffice it to say we were keeping a very close eye on Hephaestus.
Hephaestus, yeah, I
We would
figured.
need it at some point. Your ruse didn't fool us. And as for my little trick, it was an overload of the senses, accompanied by an energy discharge. Gerard and Eric were only momentarily disoriented due to their shields, but it rendered you unconscious while I got you out. Perhaps some breakfast might steady you a bit?
Your house is overgrown.
This was your house.
Yeah.
The one you recreated for Beta. In the data channel you shared.
How perceptive of you. Please, this way.
Everything clean, polished, tidy
After
with
everything your people
gold.
have done, you think I'm just gonna sit down and have a chat with you?
They're not my people. They never were, and especially not now.
Okay.
You
Interesting.
showed off into space with them. And live with them for 1,000 years before coming back.
Yeah.
So what made you suddenly turn on them?
Quite simply, this.
Broken focus?
My old focus. You repaired it?
Yeah.
But that means you've seen.
Everything.
Incredible things. What you've accomplished in 2 decades of life.
Yeah.
1,000 years at my back, and I haven't even come close.
Rust.
I'm sorry if I invaded your privacy, but I had to. In order to understand. To be enlightened. You truly are Elizabeth's blood. With her drive, her sense of mission, her integrity. Watching all this shamed me for the company that I've kept. Having seen it, all I want is to help you.
Even
Okay.
if it means stopping your friends.
Especially so. Please, sit down.
What does that mean? Surely they knew where she lived, though, and where she'd go back to.
There. That's better.
Maybe not.
Now, we must recover Beta and Gaia at all costs.
Yes.
By now, you must know that Gerard intends to use Gaia to reboot the Earth's biosphere,
Yes.
remaking this world to specifications that would only suit us immortals. This process will kill every living thing on the planet. He calls it a clean install.
Not if I stop him
A
first.
clean
Not if we
install.
do. And once he and the others are gone,
Why?
we can work together to fulfill Elizabeth's dream. I'm sure Beta told you that there's a build of the Apollo database on board our ship. A complete collection of human knowledge. With that and Gaia, we could do everything Elizabeth wanted.
What's your
Heal the
angle,
biosphere,
though?
educate the people of this world, uplift them. Create the world she imagined.
The thing is, I don't think we need to educate them at this point. Maybe a little bit, but not fully. They're learning. They're making mistakes. They learn some more. The red raids, I suppose, it really does come back to the red raids.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Maybe they
From
do.
what I've seen, your friends are invincible.
I do wish you would stop calling them my friends. And they're not invincible. In fact, a friend of yours
Yes,
has found a way
silence.
to defeat them.
Silence.
Oh, he's been a busy bee, building an army powerful enough to crash through Gerard's precious base.
I bet he has.
Regala and her rebels.
Yeah.
Even now, she's preparing a final march on the Tenakth capital. When she wins, she'll have the entire tribe under her control. Hundreds of warriors and machines to throw at the base. She's been duped. They'll all perish, of course.
Yes.
But it should be enough to break Gerard's defenses and allow Silence to kill him. Along with all the others.
Using the new weapon he's developed.
Yes.
Yes, he's found a way to circumvent our shields. Truly an exceptional man. He's planned for everything. Except you and me. You see, while his army is battering down Gerard's doors, you and I will sneak in through a back way. One that only I know about. While Silence and my friends are busy battling each other, we'll take back Beta and Gaia. I told you I want to help you. I mean it.
Beta told me your colony was destroyed. That you came back to Earth because you had nowhere else to go.
That's not true.
After
Not fully true. I think they caused their own demise. They probably tried to strip mine the planet. And after they used every resource, they doomed themselves.
we reached our destination, a planet in the Sirius star system, we spent decades building a new home. The physical constraints of Earth, the boundaries of mortality, gone.
Yeah.
To think of what we could have done with it. It might have been a utopia. Instead, we stagnated, absorbed in effortless comforts and virtual realities. It took a cataclysm to finally yank us out of our stupor.
What happened?
Ah.
A massive geological event. We knew of instabilities in the planet core, but we underestimated them. By the time the collapse was upon us, it was too late to stop it. Only a few of us made it to the ship in time. We
Really?
set course for Earth, the only safe harbor left to us.
Which you decided to make unsafe for anyone else.
Not me. Gerard. He believes it's better to wipe the canvas clean than work around the smudges. No more primitive tribes, no more combat
All
machines,
art.
only a blank
Yeah.
slate to do with as he pleases. But we
Art
will stop him.
metaphors.
All we have to do is get into that base.
What exactly is your plan to sneak into the Zenith base?
We will make use of a lesson I learned from an early age. Always know your exits.
Okay.
In this case, a place where Gerard's new construction meets the ancient foundation. A passage that only I can access. When Silence flings his army at the base, we will enter through this back door,
Okay.
bypassing most of the fighting. The distraction will provide us with a window in which to rescue Beta and Gaia.
Here's the thing. I think we need to stop Regala and her forces before they take down the Tanakh. After that, the rest of the clan will have to form in with the rebels, and then we'll have to attack together. But I don't think it's going to be enough with what we have. Even if, like, Regala's rebels follow and carry on the fight, and even if they don't, I don't think we're going to have enough to storm. It's interesting. I don't think we'll have enough.
Once we're inside the base, where will we find Beta and Gaia?
here in the command center. By
Makes
then,
sense.
Gaia will have been reunited with all of its subordinate functions, including
Interesting.
Hephaestus.
What about the alpha build of Apollo on your ship?
A simple matter of recovery once the others have been dealt with. With that in hand, we'll have everything we need to make this world as it should be.
You said Beta is not in urgent danger, so what are the Zeniths doing to her?
Putting her to work. Merging Hephaestus with Gaia. A difficult, time-consuming task, as I'm sure you know.
Yes.
They will compel her if need be. But her life is not in danger. She's the only one who can do it.
Yeah.
Because you people made her to be nothing but a tool.
Gerard's idea, not mine. They always viewed me with suspicion when I attempted any form of kindness towards her. That's why I created the data channel. A virtual place where we could speak
But
in
why
peace.
did you stop talking to her?
So this channel you shared with Beta, none of the other Zeniths ever found out about it.
Gerard believes he's the most cunning of all of us. Even after 1,000 years, he still can't imagine that I would outwit him. The channel allowed me to interact with Beta away from their mistrustful eyes. It offered us a chance to be ourselves.
Until you cut off all contact.
Yes.
Yeah.
Though it pained me. I was worried that our meetings would do her more harm than good.
She felt like you tossed her aside.
I was afraid the others would find out and punish her. She may not have had the comforts of friendship anymore, but at least I ensured she was safe.
I think she
I
wasn't
know it seems
as
harsh,
good as
but
Elizabeth.
we must believe that her well-being has always been paramount to me.
Why did you make the data channel look like this place?
I built this house as a shelter to weather any storm. A safe place. Not just for me, but for the art stored below.
Yeah.
Cultural artifacts of incalculable value. Truly some of the greatest achievements of human civilization.
And you wanted Beta to see them?
Yes. Her upbringing was so cold and technical. I thought if she could experience Vermeer and Rembrandt, it would bring something else into her life. A heritage every bit as valuable as the scientific and technical data being drummed into her. I'm sorry I had to cut off contact, but I'll never regret sharing this house with her. She needed its shelter even more than I did.
How do you know about Silence's plan?
Yeah.
He isn't the only one adept at spyware.
You hacked his focus?
It's interesting.
No, he's too careful for that. But his subordinates? Not so much.
Okay.
He gave additional focuses to the tribals he branded the Sons of Prometheus.
The ones with
Ah.
the
By tapping their focuses, I learned about most of his dealings. The distribution of...
The Sons of Prometheus. We ran into that earlier. Someone challenged one of the Sons of Prometheus in the Tanakh, and they came down on them hard. So that explains that.
override technology, the arming of Tanakh rebels, and the secret pact with Regala to attack Gerard's base.
But how did he come up with a weapon that can take down your shields?
That's the one thing I haven't been able to figure out, but however he did it, I'm quite certain it will work.
Yeah, it's
With
worked
it,
before.
the Tanakh army. Victory seems to be within his grasp. Such a shame he'll be disappointed.
Why so?
Regala's only interested in killing Hikaru and waging war on the Karja. What does she have to gain by attacking Zeniths?
It's the price she must pay for her war. Without the ability to override machines, her little rebellion would have languished in the desert.
So she trades with the Sons of Prometheus. Machines to help her overthrow Hikaru.
In exchange for an assault on the base.
Yes, that makes
Pride
sense.
has deluded her into thinking she can actually survive such a battle. And all without ever knowing who the Sons of Prometheus really answer to. Yet for all of Silence's brilliance, still he underestimates you. That blind spot, is what will allow us to take Beta and Gaia right out from under him.
While hundreds of Tanakh are cut down outside. My old focus. How did you find it, let alone repair it?
When we encountered you at the Hades Proving Lab, Gerard saw you as a redundancy. I knew better. You were a revelation. After your dramatic escape, bravo, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Gerard and Eric assumed you were dead and gave up the hunt. I wasn't so sure. When the others were busy, I returned to the lab and searched for any trace of you. That's when I found this little treasure.
Yeah.
Not easy to repair, but certainly worth the effort. As I watched your life unfold, you were like a splash of color on a worn canvas. What Liz was, and more.
Yeah.
Did you show it to the others?
Of course not. It was your actions that inspired me to defy them. It's worth noting that if I hadn't found it and watched its contents, I wouldn't have known to save you at the cauldron.
You'd be
You'd
dead.
be dead,
So I should be grateful.
if you like.
Interesting.
So you know all about me. What about you?
Yeah.
What would you like to know?
Well, start with your life on Earth.
When I was 8, terrorists flooded my home city. Thousands drowned, my parents included. I was one
wow.
of the few who survived. My guardian sent me to boarding school. Among my peers, I was the strange girl, the orphan to be avoided. All because of circumstances beyond my control.
Yeah.
Oh. So we're a lot alike, huh?
Aren't we? You were an outcast. But you didn't let that stop you from getting what you needed. Neither did I. I climbed my way out of desolation and used my wits to build a fortune.
Yeah.
First, from the technical analysis of art and the detection of forgeries.
And then.
Profitable expertise in those days. But as it turned out, the software I developed was even more useful for counterintelligence.
Interesting.
From there, it was only a short step to gathering extremely valuable intelligence on my own.
I see. And then blackmail.
You were a spy?
More like a service one could turn to for information.
Yeah.
I had to remain anonymous, of course, to protect my privacy. But despite that anonymity, Far Zenith inevitably sought me out.
Yeah.
What happened when Far Zenith approached you?
They painted an irresistible vision of humanity's future.
Yes, they're good for that.
One where we need not fear illness or death, where we explored the furthest reaches of the stars and thrived. It was only later that I realized that they only intended to bequeath this future to the rich and powerful.
Yeah.
By the time I finally figured it out, the walls were closing in, Pharaoh's machines were devouring the earth. So I accepted Far Zenith's invitation to a berth on the Odyssey. I wanted Liz to come, but she had nobler plans, as you well know.
Yes. Which brings us nicely to.
So you knew Elizabeth. What was she like?
Like
Liz
you.
was everything she was, I see in you. And more. Your ingenuity, your determination, your moral compass. You've managed to distill her greatest qualities and make them your own.
I'm not asking about me. Tell me about Elizabeth. What was she really like?
Cold,
The honest
I would
answer
imagine.
is that I don't actually know. For all the time that I spent with her, she always kept a part of herself locked away.
Yeah.
It was like that from the moment we met.
How did you meet?
So when you met Elizabeth, she was what? Distant? Aloof?
Not aloof. Not exactly. It was a summit in Paris about
Dismissive,
machine learning,
maybe?
a touchy subject in those days, because regulatory authorities were just starting to clamp down on AIs. Liz gave the keynote address. She had already achieved great renown for her work in automated environmental reclamation. But in her address, she was just starting to imagine the next step. An AI-driven system that wouldn't just act on its programming, but actually take responsibility for its sphere of influence.
To care about life. Not just follow orders.
Revolutionary stuff. I was fascinated. And I wanted to meet her for a long time. I watched her after her talk. She had spoken with such moral authority, such empathy. But after that, she retreated. I could tell she felt uncomfortable with all of her admirers.
Yeah, she didn't want to
It
be
was
there.
as if giving the talk had cost her something. I didn't want to be a pest, so I planned my approach carefully.
So how did you finally approach Elizabeth after her talk?
I picked the right moment. The morning of the next day, right as she came back to the conference, she had just had her coffee. She was fresh, rested. It was like she had braced herself for the onslaught of colleagues. I asked if I could walk with her, then put forth a question about her talk that I thought was intelligent. Her answer made me realize it wasn't, but she was very welcoming. Almost as if we were previously acquainted. It was only halfway through the conversation that I realized she knew exactly who I was. It was quite a shock to me. My business was trafficking in secrets, and I took great pains to protect my anonymity. So that was Liz, perpetually one step ahead. I came to view our meeting as a metaphor for our friendship. She always seemed to know me far better than I knew her.
I guess I know the feeling.
Yeah. Which leads us to the other
So you
Zenith.
didn't know the other Zeniths were monsters until it was too late?
I knew some of them were. Certainly.
Yeah, one or two
It wasn't
strikingly
until we were off planet
obvious.
that I understood the true scope of their greed. I was grateful to simply be alive, but the others became obsessed with a kind of effortless immortality.
Yeah.
They built a colony where machines serviced their every need, where any memory or fantasy could be endlessly savored in virtual reality.
It's no way to live
It wasn't life.
forever.
It was stultifying. A pampered dream state.
It reminds
As
me
the
of
decades passed, I withdrew more and
Pharaoh,
more,
really.
alone yet again. But this time with eons to consider my mistakes. Now finally, having met you, I feel like I have a second chance.
To do what?
Help you, of course. To fulfill Liz's dream, which isn't so different from Farzenith's original vision. A better future for humanity.
There has to be another way. Surely there has to be another way. Sorry.
First Varl. Now Hikaru and the Tenakth.
Yeah.
Your plan would wipe out an entire tribe. There has to be another way.
We are in an admittedly desperate situation, but I assure you there isn't.
Call in every favor we
Remember Zero
have.
Dawn. Elizabeth's sacrifice. Sometimes many have to die for a new world to grow.
That's Pharaoh's words. Innocents have to die, so innocents can live again with this. What is it? Rise above our ruin? I can't.
If it's impossible, look deeper. Wait.
What if we unite
The data
everyone?
channel. It still exists, doesn't it? I need you to open it. Let me talk to Beta.
Impossible. We might be detected.
It's worth the risk. There is another way, one where the Tanakh survive.
But we won't. If the others...
If you want to help, open it.
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay.
What are they doing to her?
Virtual reality dissociation. The manual merge of Hephaestus will take hours upon hours of tedious micromanagement. If she resists the work, they run simulations to induce feelings of isolation and despair.
Nice. That's why she was the way she was.
You're alive. They're watching me. I can't hold up this extra projection for long. You should have killed me. No. No, look at me. I'm coming for you. I promise. Okay? I just need you to hold out a little while longer and work on the merge.
Interesting.
Then I think it can be done. I'll contact again when it's time. Can you hold on? As long as I know you're coming for me, I can endure
Nice.
anything.
End it. Nice.
All right. I did as you asked. Now I think you need to tell me what you're planning.
I'm going to take Silent's army away. I don't need it. Only the weapon he made to penetrate your shields.
And how do you propose to get it? Ask him nicely?
Yes, actually.
Without Regala and her rebels, he won't have a choice. We'll be his only option.
Only
Yeah.
option for what? What did you tell her?
Is between me and my sister.
Ah.
Will be Silent's only option for crashing that base.
That's
I'll tell you the
nice.
rest later. But first, there are a couple of things I have to do.
Oh. And what are those?
Defeat
Lay my
all the
friend to rest. And then
rebels.
I'm going to use the override that Beta gave me at Gemini to put an end to Regala's rebellion
Yeah.
from the air.
Nice.
Since you insist on doing things your way, I know of something that will truly help you make a grand entrance with the Tanakh.
Oh, yeah,
The
baby.
ancient Horus Titans still possess electromagnetic energy cells as part of their arsenal. Drop one of those on Regala's army and they'll receive quite a surprise. So go, do what you must. I'll come to your base if you manage to bring silence to the table.
Not if. When.
You know, he's gonna have quite the bad day. All that
And,
remains.
you there?
Aloy! Aloy, is that really you?
Yeah, it's me. Where's everyone else?
We're all... we're back at base. What happened?
It might be easier to explain in person. I'll try to join you there when I can.
Okay. We'll wait here for you. It's good to hear your voice, Aloy.
Oh, Errant. We've got a tale of woe. I can't believe they just killed Val. They just killed him. I'm interested in the plan, but
Just to let you know, I'm now patched into your focus
oh,
network.
okay.
Great. I take it the other Zeniths can't hear us?
Of course not. And they don't know about your base either, in case you were wondering.
I was
I've
wondering
sent you
about that
data on the
actually,
Horus
yeah.
energy cells you can use against Regala's forces. Reach out to me when you're ready to acquire one.
Understood.
I can't believe... No, I guess I can. I can believe that she'd be willing to help us, but she's got to have another motive in mind. Why is she helping us, I guess, is the next question. There has to be a reason for why. And this is our last area. I had a feeling it wasn't going to work, that the Zeniths were going to find us, but I'm just shaking my head right now. I honestly thought we'd have to kill Beta. I thought Beta would die. I thought we'd have to kill her, and they'd use like Val to force us to come and rescue him. Like, hey, you know, we've got your best friends. Come save him or we'll kill him. But no, they just killed Val. You know, I keep saying it, and he's been with us since the very start. I just didn't think... Poor Warchisoma. She's lost both her children now. I just didn't think they'd do it. Right, we're gonna have to end it there for today. I am going to explore this area, and then we're gonna have to we've got a lot of work ahead of ourselves here, really. Got a lot to do. I just want to end it here. I don't want to talk about it. I can't believe they just killed him. There was no chance of anything. It was just basically, that's it. He's done. And he's gone. And we got nothing. Silence has to die. That's for sure. Once we've used him and got what we needed out of him, he needs to die. His whole plan, his contingency was that he wanted me to go to the... He wanted Aloy to go to the Zeniths in the first place. He was like, hey, you know, they're coming for you. But just accept them and just accept that I have the best intentions for you. His like feelings towards the Zeniths, it was always like, hey, here's Aloy, look at the person I've delivered for you. But if he was always planning for Regala to like invade, and for that to always to have happened, I don't know. Honestly, I don't. I don't know what's his, like... I would imagine he would be like, hey, you know, we can't live in a world with the Zeniths, because obviously their plans aren't...
This will make a good die.
They're not going to help us. They're just here to wipe us out, so we can't negotiate with them. But I guess he realized that we needed them to put together Gaia, and that I would work with them until that was complete, and then his rebels would storm and they would allow him back. That we would be like a pawn to be used. It's something that I honestly thought about at the time. Like, I thought that this would be a thing that Silence would eventually... Whoa. It's kind of cool. Not sure how that is happening. It's sunset and it's... Somehow we got a shiny light too here. Don't think that's meant to happen, but it is. Private beach as well. That's the Zenith facility in the background there. But yeah, I don't think he ever foresaw me escaping as part of his plans. But with knowing that Beta's out there, he realized that they had another way of doing things. So don't know where the light's coming from. I don't think that's meant to be there, you know. But there we are. Let's go out and go up. But I don't know. I mean, like, Silent's whole thing was gaining knowledge. And gaining knowledge over everyone. So the fact that he will come to me is difficult. What did Aloy say to Beta? Clearly we didn't trust her with that information. I mean, I wouldn't. Well, another time, perhaps. Let's return to the base and tell everyone what happened.